Tech giant Google has agreed to pay SA's traditional media houses more than 680 million rand as part of a settlement with competition authorities over lost revenues in the industry. The Competition Commission's Media and Digital Platforms Market Inquiry is seen as a step forward in the push to balance the scales and support local media owners relegated to the fringes by the unchecked rise of US tech giants. The Commission said it had agreed to a 688 million rand media support package with Google and YouTube, which will fund national, community and vernacular media through a combination of content licensing, innovation grants and capacity building initiatives. Now, for more, we are joined by Phathutshedzo Manenzhe from the Competition Commission. A very good evening to you, Phathutshedzo. Thank you so much for your time. Now, this is a welcomed outcome. Tell us about the inquiry and what led to its establishment.
Thank you. Good evening, and good evening to your viewers as well. So what led to the establishment of the market inquiry was because the Competition Commission had reasonable grounds to believe that there are market features within the news media industry that and digital platforms that can impede, distort, or restrict competition. And what we did was look at digital platforms that facilitate the distribution of news online, and we looked into search, social media platforms, as well as AI. In addition to that, we looked at EdTech, which is the sector that then provides the tools for advertising.
Now, 688 million rand, that's over the next 5 years. How is it going to be decided which media houses will be receiving these monies? Where does it go? How will it work, basically?
So the 688 million that Google has committed to is towards a package. The package includes compensation, monetization, as well as training. So to accommodate the different types of stakeholders that we have in the news media industry, we considered that we have your local and community media, and there will be a transformation fund for them, valued at 38 million per annum. That will be facilitated through the AIP. We believe that we have a number of community media businesses that have already signed up, and there has been a payout made already. And then for mainstream media and broadcasters, including the SABC, that is then their participation in the Google News Showcase. And the value of that is 71 million per annum. And that will be in a contractual basis with Google, where Google will compensate them for the distribution of their content on the platform. And for vernacular languages, we have the Google News Initiative, which will be in partnership with the MDDA, where publications that publish vernacular news content will be trained for the Google News Initiative.
Yeah, thanks for that breakdown. Now, the initial amount that the Competition Commission had proposed, what was that amount per annum? Because I believe it had been reported to around 300 million to 500 million per annum, which you were initially looking at.
So we initially looked at that amount, and our assessment or our estimate was based on the referral traffic that we believe news media receives from Google News and the value of that. And through engagements with Google and more evidence being presented to us, where we had to also understand that apart from the conduct by Google, there are natural features that have contributed to the dire state that we find our industry in, where we see that what also contributed was users' behavior, where they shifted their attention towards online, and they engaged more in digital news, in digital news consumption. And in the same breath, advertisers have also moved online. And what we do acknowledge in the advertising space online is that the rate at which a news publisher can earn revenue from advertisement ads online is much lesser. So this was due to the consultations with Google, where they presented us with evidence of their involvement in the state that the news media industry has found themselves in, and that has been adjusted to the 700 million that we have come to. But what is important to also understand is it is the training that will be provided, and that is to also allow for a more sustainable approach where the news media industry will also be equipped with the necessary tools that they need to establish their presence on digital platforms and also have access to monetization options.
And just briefly, before I let you go, you mentioned users' behavior and advertisers also moving online. This is a great outcome for the next 5 years because the 600 and odd million rand is over the next 5 years. So what happens after that?
So what happens after the 5 years is, firstly, we will conduct an impact assessment to assess how far these remedial actions have improved the state of the news media industry. And should there still be concerns, then the Commission will consider its options, whether it be an investigation or look further into the market. But after the 5 years, what we believe is that we will have newsrooms that are more equipped for a multimedia strategy, where they do prioritize their participation online. With the training, we believe that they will be more equipped to produce the content that platforms prefer on their platforms that they believe would gain them more traction. We believe that they will be more in a more independent state and be able to then diversify their operations beyond traditional means.
Phathutshedzo, thank you so much for your time this evening. Really appreciate it.